If you've ever been on a diet and the scale isn't exactly going up, but it sure as you know what ain't going down, welcome to the stall. I think everybody who has ever dieted any time in their life, anyone who's ever competed any time in their life, I know a lot of you guys that may do bodybuilding or classic physique or different types of competitions like that. I mean, I know when I was younger, wrestling, trying to make weight, all these things have all, even playing football when I was in Pop Warner, we have something called older lighter, and you have to be a certain weight range, right? I think we've all experienced this phenomenon before, and it really does kind of humble you, to be quite honest. And today, I'm going to talk about my humbling as I talk about some of the tips and the methods that I'm using to kind of defeat my weight stalls as kind of my body reaches that state of homeostasis, if you will, within myself with the calories and the movement and the activity that I'm doing. And the scale freezes up on me. I want to talk about some of the things I go in and I go check real quick. All right, y'all. Let's get into today's video.
What was that?
The first thing that I like to do, guys, is I like to grab my phone and I like to go to one of the essentially calorie tracking apps. You can use whatever one you want to use, guys. I don't care. I don't sell any of these products. I don't sell any of the software. I'm not an affiliate for any of these guys, okay? I use MyFitnessPal. It doesn't matter. And I use the free version if I'm going to be honest about the entire situation here, okay? I like to go in, and what I like to do is I don't log my stuff every day just because I don't think that's necessary if you're eating somewhat consistently, but I do like to spot check myself, and I'll go to each individual day and I will put in my meal. So for today, I'm going to plug in my breakfast, right? And I'm going to try to plug in and make sure my breakfast does not exceed 700 calories. The reason why is if I was eating 3 meals per day, and I'm saying that I do eat 3 meals per day, guys. I normally do have a snack in there for a 4th meal. But if I were, I know that just by simple calculations, if I'm on a 2,000 calorie diet, then I know that I better be real careful with how many calories are in each and every meal that I'm eating, right? If I start exceeding 700 calories per meal, I'm quickly going to be at 2,100 calories, 100 calorie surplus to what my goal is, right? I'm going to have to make some adjustments and make some movements here. To be quite honest, guys, I normally eat a little bit more than that, and each of my meals is different. My lunches are normally nowhere near as big as my dinner or my breakfast, but to each their own, if you will. Today's recipe is some oatmeal. And I'm talking about some protes, if you will. Some protein oats is what we're going to basically make. So to begin with, guys, I take my scale. I'm going to put a bowl on it. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zero this out. And that would be one of my main tips right quick, right? We talked about tracking each individual meal, if you will, to kind of get a rundown on how much protein you're getting in per meal, how much fiber's in each meal, how much carbs you're eating per meal, the fats that are in your meals, just kind of getting that general census, if you will, and the calories. Looking at your macronutrients and your micronutrients to get an idea of like your total calories and where you are. For this particular situation, guys, I'm going to use 2 servings, or this one comes in a half cup amount, so 80 grams. I don't do it by the half cups. You can go get that. I mean, it's better than doing nothing. I would rather get my scale, and that would be another tip here, guys, is get you a scale. It's a lifesaver, to be honest. And I'm going to measure out 80 grams, which is 2 servings. It's 300 calories. Another tip I will say is that while it tastes great to have milk and things like that in your oatmeal, and if I were bulking or if I was trying to add a little weight, maybe that's where I find an extra 100 or so calories, 200 calories to get me in that surplus. Either that or I'm going to use like rice or potatoes or something like that, guys. However, when you're trying to cut down and you're trying to lose a little weight or you're trying to maintain your weight, it probably behooves you to use water, guys. So you know what? I'm going to start my water. I'm going to let that boil and get myself caught up. The next step in this entire development, guys, is that for this to be protes or protein oats, it's going to require protein. Now, I think you can make a case that instead of using casein I think is the better way, just regular whey protein and casein protein, I think are the better ones to use for baking and things like that. I would say that when you're making milkshakes and stuff like this is where I think whey or an isolate, a whey isolate probably blend and mix a little better, but I don't have that here and I'm going to use what I have. At the end of the day, guys, this is going to give me 110 calories, so I'm taking that 300, the 110, and now I'm at 410 calories for this, but I'm going to definitely measure out my protein because I'll tell you those scoops are never accurate, guys. They're always off for me. So I need 32 grams to get to that number. Another thing that I like to do, guys, is when I've got my protein powder in here and I have my oats in here, because you want this protein to mix as best as you can, mix it. Mix it before you add your wet ingredients, guys. So I'm gonna come in here and I'm just gonna mix this up together, okay? And get these dry ingredients just kind of put together. I do personally enjoy a little bit of fruit with my actual my protein oats, but I will say if I took this whole banana and I put it in there, this is your typical large banana, this is like 120 calories, which to me, it's a little excessive if I'm trying to stick to a caloric deficit. Now, once again, if I were trying to add some muscle and this was like the beginning of fall, as opposed to coming out of the end of winter, then I might actually opt to put the whole thing in there and make up some little short changes here and there to get those extra 100 or 200 calories to have a very gradual, you know what I mean, caloric surplus to build some muscle. But in this way where I'm trying to pare down, eliminating 60 calories and cutting this in half is probably ideal for me, guys. So I'm gonna half my banana, basically, is the next tip. Another tip for when I'm making this is that volume really matters, and I'm gonna show you a couple tricks to get volume into this. Number one is that I added more water than I probably would need, just because it could be more of a soup than an oatmeal. I get it, guys. But volume does matter, and I do like my oatmeal particularly just a little bit watery, or has a little bit of liquid to it. But the other thing is that, and I learned this from Will Tennyson, is to add the cauliflower rice. I'm gonna do 1 serving of cauliflower rice into this to, once again, expand the volume. Makes me feel like I'm getting this huge meal. One serving, 85 grams into the bowl. And on my floor. All right, to finish off my toppings, what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to take my PB Fit. I'm going to put this in some water. I'm doing 1 serving of the PB Fit into water. I'm going to thicken it up, and I'm going to allow that to have a little drizzle to go over the top of this. And then I'm going to finish it off with my bananas, and I'm going to finish it off with just a secret little touch of about 2 servings or 4 tablespoons worth of Log Cabin sugar-free maple syrup. I don't care about the brand, guys. To be honest with you, if the store brand was in stock, I would have bought the store brand. Ain't Your Mama, all those are all great. I don't really care, guys. Get whatever one you have available. As long as it's sugar-free and it's lower in the calories, it's going to fit what we're trying to achieve here, guys. Last but not least is your presentation of your meals. I do my best to make the meals seem somewhat appeasing to me from the eyes, but I'll be honest with you, I'm not the greatest in the world at doing that, but I do my best, guys. Just try to make it as appeasing as you can. It's going to help you. Or if you're just ravenously hungry, I guess just throw it in there real quick, stir it on up, and move about your day. A couple other things that I've learned, guys, is that I try to simplify my meals as much as possible, just because I know it can get boring, I know it can get repetitive, and there are subtle changes you can make to kind of mix things up. Like, I don't just only eat this. I also have an egg recipe that sometimes I throw over a tortilla roll. Sometimes I just eat it with some toast to the side. Sometimes I eat it with some rice cakes with peanut butter on them. there's different things I do, but I try to keep things very consistent. I try to keep the same foods in there because number one, it makes it easier to control the shopping. It makes it easier to predict the cost of items. But number two, it makes it easier to follow the diet, and then I don't have to do as much, crazy tracking. I still have to weigh with the scale to make sure everything's correct, but I don't have to necessarily punch everything into an app every single time. If I do that, the other things I'm noticing is, guys, is like before where I would top this with some cheese, I would top this with like, some ketchup or something on there. I'm now trying to opt, there's nothing wrong with doing that on occasion, but 80% of the time, I'm trying to stick with 0-calorie stuff. So hot sauce, salt, and pepper is basically what I'm using for this today. And I'm just trying to use these little subtle things that are going to help me keep the exact caloric range that I'm looking for. And I do say range, right? Number one, you're trusting that what is being printed on a label is accurate. And there's only one way to tell, guys, right? Which is to do it over a prolonged period of time and look at the scale and look at everything else, the way your measurements are fitting you, the way the measurements are coming out with your clothes fitting you. Those are all indicators whether or not something is actually happening or not. And then you have to adjust. It's as simple as that, guys. I mean, you can say, well, I'm only eating 2,000 calories. Like, your body's your body. You have to be in a caloric, deficit in order to lose weight. But at the same time, in saying that, what you assume was a caloric deficit for you may not be anymore. There is a such thing as homeostasis that gets reached in your body, right? That's why it's so important that when you're on a weight loss journey, kind of like myself right now, I make strength training like it's an absolute. It has to happen because the more muscle I can put on my body, and we all have different ranges, guys, without being, enhanced. Our range is going to be our range when it comes to that as well, but I'm doing the best I can with what I have naturally to try to basically add muscle to help do those little metabolism tricks, because muscle will burn more calories at rest than, your fat cell accumulation and things like that, guys. So I do look to that, right? I mean, I also try to be mindful that, like, okay, I've had some pretty rough workouts and, like, I just had a lot of carbohydrates, so I'm probably filling some up inside my liver. I'm probably filling some up inside the muscles themselves. There's probably like a glycemic effect going on here that, is hydrating the muscles, hydrating the liver. I'm probably carrying some water weight. I try to watch that over periods, and that's where it's important to look over weeks and months over time and not day to day, because of course you're going to vary day to day. Like, I've seen my scale weight go up 2 or 3 pounds in a day, to be quite honest. But then like 6 days later, I'm at one of my lowest weights ever. It happens. Like, you got to look at the ranges, not necessarily the days. That's something that I'm like, I can see the proof of it now. And it shocks me every time it happens, because I can almost tell that when I stall for like 3 or 4 days, something's going to happen. Either I'm about to go up in weight or I'm fitting to go down in weight. Something's fixing to happen. I can almost tell immediately. Last but not least, this here thing beside me, when I'm watching the baby, who you're probably hearing in some parts of the video, guys, there's nothing I can do. The baby's going to baby. But when I'm watching stuff on TV and I'm just kind of hanging out, I'll jump on that as I'm watching her, or maybe she's going through physical therapy. One of the physical therapists is here. I'll walk while I'm watching something, or while I'm interacting with the physical therapist with the baby. I just try to find ways to get steps in. Like, that's something I can control, right? Like something like your steps, okay? You could have limitations, and even steps can have limitations, guys. Of course, you can have physical limitations. But for most people, while we may not be able to run like we used to anymore, right? We may not be able to sprint. We may not be able to do explosive movements like jumps, box jumps, and stuff like that. We can increase our steps normally, guys. That's a pretty easy one to increase, if I'm going to be honest. So I try to reverse and like look at everything and just fine tune what I can here. Like, I try to really analyze stuff and be honest with myself. Like, don't let someone else be my biggest critic. Make sure I'm the biggest critic in the room of myself. That's kind of how I'm approaching it, y'all. All right, I want to know, what are your tips, guys? What do you do? Let me know. I mean, there's always something out there that you don't know until somebody tells you about it. What are some of the things that you do when you hit these weight stalls? And like, how do you approach it from a mindset perspective? Like, hey, you know what? These are normal. These are natural. Like, let's give it 3 or 4 days and let's see where it goes. Or you're kind of like me, where you're like, okay, I gave it 2 days. I don't see a change. If something don't happen on this 3rd day, I got to start evaluating. I'm curious where you guys fall and like how you approach it. All right, y'all. Peace. I'm out of here.